though, Max. Yeah. He doesn't want like you lot had Payet back in the day. You had like Payet and players like that can change a game. By themselves. He doesn't want those kind of players. This is what I hate about Arteta. Yeah. You wanted to build a team of robotic players. What do robotic players need? A manager's got an effective system, identifies their weaknesses and their strengths, plays to their strengths, and has world-class in-game management to get the most out of those robotic players. So why don't you coach your way out of it? You've made a team that doesn't have individuals. We don't have an Alexis Sanchez anymore. We don't even have an Aubameyang anymore. These were individuals that can change a game. You've got players that will be good little boys and play and be a DM and play striker, or be a DM and play right back, or be a centre back and play left back. So then you have to be the difference maker. You didn't want players that are difference makers. This is why this guy is so backwards. But then every time he's in the pickle, Bayern Munich last season, West Ham last season, Liverpool last season in the cup games, then you're expecting your players to bail you out. You've not brought individuals, that are world-class goal scorers, world-class creators, world-class in dribbling, and that can destroy. You've bought robotic players, and now you think that, I'm not going to manage the team. This team is made, you've got enough players. With the players that I see here, the bench, has been built to hold on to a lead, not to chase the game back and get us back from a deficit, Why don't you play three at the back? You've got Saliba, Gabriel. You can put Declan Rice as a centre-back. He can play as a centre-back. Then you can use wing-backs as Tierney, or you can use also Timber as well. You can utilize him as a wing-back. Then you've got the midfield. You can play Partey. You can play Odegaard and Ethan. Do you know what I'm saying? And then you can play Trossard through the middle. Since when we bought him in January, he played the first couple of games. He played as a striker, and we got a tune out of him. All of a sudden, we're structurally a lot stronger defensively, and going forward, we can be a little bit less predictable and actually have a style of play in terms of transition. Why don't he do that?
I don't know.
If I can think of that, why can't he think of that? You've got a defensive team, so change the formation. Because defensively, we've been all over the place. We've been rocky. We ain't been that great defensively this season. This is why we lost to Bournemouth. This is why we lost to Newcastle. This is why we lost to Man United. We ain't been solid defensively.
No. And has it not occurred to anyone that maybe Arteta's been figured out by other coaches as well? Because as much as people can say he may have figured out Pep and he's got over the line in individual games against Pep, at the same time, people like Eddie Howe, people like Graham Potter, people like Marco Silva, Iraola have all figured out how to get the best out of their team against a manager like Arteta. Like, for example, the Brighton game, when you conceded the penalty or whatever, that was just a game of Brighton are better against the bigger teams or whatever. But Newcastle, Eddie Howe has outplayed Arteta quite a lot. So has Unai Emery. Graham Potter has a good record at the Emirates for a reason, because since that his last window, I'm pretty sure his last window was when you guys were battling for top 4, and he hasn't changed since then. Only the personnel has changed slightly. You don't have Xhaka anymore, or Martinelli isn't good anymore, and whatever. Not really much has changed over the past few years. But also, that's what happens when individual players, star players, big name players like Gabriel, Saliba, Odegaard, whoever it is, when they're starting week in, week out, they're comfortable starting, knowing they're going to start week in, week out at a club like Arsenal. Because people can say, but he subs off Odegaard. But he's going to play him the next game. So what difference does it make hooking someone off for their bad performance to then start him the next week? I know you guys don't have many options, but this is his squad by design. This is his squad by design. He approves everything. And even let's say he doesn't have that much power, he's put himself as the face of it. So regardless of, let's say, if he doesn't have that much power, leave the club. Be like, they're not backing me, leave. If you really, really think that they're not backing you and this club isn't in your image by now, we're in 2025 and you was hired in 2019, then leave. And that's what I like about my manager, is that he tweaks it all the time. And it benefits us. Instead of fitting square pegs into round holes, he makes the square pegs the round holes. He literally makes the players fit into his mold, regardless of what kind of caliber player they are. Souček isn't a Graham Potter player. Alvarez isn't a Graham Potter player. Neither is Wan-Bissaka. These are not Graham Potter type players. And I'm just talking in terms of what type of player they actually are. But he makes them fit. Arteta doesn't do that. Arteta, would have been a good fucking interim manager to take you to the FA Cup. He was not good to be rookie permanent manager. The problem is with learning on the job at Arsenal, you're meant to be winning now. So if you're still learning on the job, this is going to take 10 years, 15 years to see if it maybe works. But even if it doesn't work, even if it, like, you're trying to make it work, let's say it doesn't work, then what? You've wasted 10, 15 years. He's going to be there for a while because there's no pressure. There's no pressure from the players. There's no pressure from the fans. There's no pressure from the manager. It filters through. Gabriel, Saliba know they're starting week in, week out because they know who. They're probably thinking themselves, they're human. They're like, who's going to start over us? Who's starting in that club over us? They're in training week in, week out, as much as they're mates. You know, everyone's played football here. Sunday league, non-league, whatever. Some people might even play professional in the chat or semi-pro. You know, you've been in the changing room. You've been in the changing room, or you even play with your mates. He's fucking shit. I'm going to start over him because I'm better. I'm legit just better. That's what they're thinking. Obrigado, I'm better than Calafiori. Like, legit, Gabriel and Saliba are thinking, the Calafiori ain't starting that centre-back. Kivio ain't starting that centre-back. Timber ain't starting that centre-back. We're starting week in, week out. Erdogan's thinking the same thing, even though Managerial is better as a footballer. He's thinking, I'm the captain. I'm the face of this club. No one is starting over me because I know I'm going to start week in, week out regardless if I get taken off. These men aren't even probably trying in training like that because they know Arteta's going to start them. You don't have the options. Trossard was playing false 9 at Brighton just before he joined as well because Mitoma was coming through. So when he did move to you guys and play false 9, everyone thought they have another option. When Jesus is injured, Trossard can play on the left and false 9. I thought you guys handled that saga quite well, dodging Mudryk and getting Trossard. But we discovered this Trossard's not even a level of Arsenal either. As good as he is off the bench, he's not a good starter. Martinelli's not good. Saka and Nwaneri are probably the only major good ones up front, and Nwaneri's not even a right winger. Jesus ain't good enough. Havertz is definitely not good enough. You're going to create your chances more than most people regardless because you have the ball more than the other team. That's why these players are scoring some goals. But they're not going to raise the level because their individual quality is their individual quality. They're not going to develop anytime soon.
But it's a joke, man. I was going to say, we just hit 100.
I only remember one.
On my head, I can't remember any.
I only remember the Trossard one, and that's it.
Calafiori had a shot, but it's straight at your goalkeeper. Easy. Yeah. Straight at him.
Areola had to do fuck all. Areola didn't have to do anything. He just stood there. So all he had to do was stand. That was the easiest game I've ever seen Areola have, ever, against anyone. Areola's never had an easier game than that. We were getting battered week in, week out last season. He was in goal saving us. He's never been, not tested like that, ever. Ever. We had Mavropanos for 40 minutes, Northside. We took Todibo off because that was his first game coming back. We put Mavropanos on. This guy makes a mistake week in, week out. He didn't get tested. He didn't have to do anything. Every player that we played well. And some of these players are fucking shit. Alvarez is shit. He's a shit player. Mavropanos is shit. Crespo was old, but he played really well. Old as hell. Slow as hell. Immobile. But they did get tested. When Sterling came on, Ollie Scholes and Crespo dealt with him. They didn't need to double up on him because they didn't even get past the first player. But Scholes is 18, 19. Crespo is 35, 36. And Sterling can't get past either of them. The only reason why you signed him is because you loaned out Reece Nelson. That's embarrassing. Why does nobody call these things out? Why does nobody call the transfer window? I couldn't believe the summer transfer window you had. I couldn't believe that. Nobody was hyping it, but nobody was criticizing it. Nobody was criticizing that window, like Marino, Calafiori, Sterling, to win the league. That didn't get talked about enough.
Bro, it's crazy because even before the accounts came out for the financial year, they were already justifying what we were doing in January, saying, oh, but we don't have any money. How do you know? How the hell do you know that we have no money, bro? It makes no sense. How did we have money when we was 8th? We finished the season 8th and 8th and we had money to spend on the team. We were spending more money when we was 5th. And now that we're challenging, all of a sudden the fans have dried out. Bro, we renewed our sponsorship deals because we're in the Champions League. So all the sponsorship deals that we have, the training ground, the shirt sponsor, all the sponsors, all went up in revenue because we're now giving them exposure through the Champions League. So how do we not have money, bro? We sold a load of players in the summer, so we made money there. Do you know what I'm saying? I think we only had a 17.7 million pound loss. That's nothing with FFP.
That's nothing.
It's nothing. Do you know what I mean? The financial guy came out, one financial expert came out and said Arsenal in the summer can spend comfortably 250 million pounds, which meant that money was available in January. If they really were holding themselves accountable for what we did in the summer, they'll say, listen, we may have to pay 10, 15, 20 million pound more each player that we need. But listen, it's our fault. We didn't do what we need to do in the summer. And that's the whole myth with this fan base. Yeah, they think that in the summer you can just go out and get all the players that you want. In the summer, everybody's doing if not a rebuild, they're trying to strengthen their team and show some ambition. So you're going to get into bidding wars, especially at the stage that we're at right now. The players that we need have to be borderline world-class or world-class, because we're now at a point where you have to be getting over the line. So players that can do a job no longer hit the mark, because we're now trying to go from second to winners. And you need world-class players there. You need players that are seasoned vets or players that are on top of their game. So all of a sudden with bidding wars, the price goes up. They're already going out for world-class players or borderline world-class players. They come at a premium. So it's a myth that you're going to get all the players that you want in the summer. So half the job that you have to do, buy some of them in January. In January, they say, oh, but teams don't want to, they don't want to sell, so you've got to buy at a premium. Pick your poison. In January, teams don't want to sell, so you're going to have to buy a premium. In the summer, the players that we need to go and get, multiple teams are after them. So then we're in a bidding war, i.e. what we had to do to get Declan Rice. A bidding war with City, we're paying over 100 M's to get Declan Rice. So there is no window where you're going to get a discount. This ain't fucking Black Friday. Do you know what I'm saying? This ain't Black Friday, but this ain't January sales. I don't understand.
LGCB, bro. Yeah.
But they think all of a sudden we're going to show ambition in the summer. We haven't showed ambition in the summer for 20 summers, bro. What ambition are you going to show in the summer? I just don't understand this fan base. And once again, I called it at the start of the season. They will only see how bad this team is once the January transfer window is closed and we get some injuries and it's the crunch end of the season. Let's be real. This season, you said that we've stagnated. We got worse. We were already bottling the league already at the start of the season, bro.
It's true. It's true.
We're going backwards, bro. We're going backwards. When I said we have no rotation for the centre backs, look now. When I told you we have no rotation for Odegaard, look now. When I told you we don't have a clinical striker, look now. But at the start of the season, they'll tell me, but how about his scoring now? Well, is he scoring for us now? And I don't give a shit if he's injured, because before he was injured, the last 4 games, he went missing. So the guy was already showing you, bro. He's bro. It's just, I am so tired of it. It's boring. I can't understand how people are out there happy with this shit.
No, I don't understand, bro. I don't understand. There's no accountability in the Arsenal fan base. Well, I say no accountability. Obviously, everyone knows the people that keep the club accountable. So the people such as yourself. But like at the same time, bro, like it doesn't get talked about enough. I feel like when we criticize Arsenal, is we hate Arsenal. And as much as we do hate Arsenal, we do talk objectively about Arsenal as well. And as much as as you said, you were bottling the league at the start of the season, because I was thinking this might be the season that might not even be in the title race. I might have been wrong predicting them to finish second, but I didn't think City would be this bad either. I thought City started the season well. Arsenal were going to fall off, but that you kind of done the same exact thing as last season, where you lost 4 games right at the start. You lost against us at the start. You lost against Fulham back to back. Lost against Newcastle. And again, it's the same story, but it's the same managers. It's the Marco Silvas. It's the Eddie Howe's. Graham Potter's beaten Arteta before. The same managers have figured out Arteta. Eddie Howe set the blueprint on Arteta years ago. In your first season challenging for the league, or even in the top 4 race, where they beat you, and then when you challenge for the league, they set the precedent on how to defend and how to attack against an Arteta team. Have people running in behind and just be physical. That is it. That's all you have to do against Arsenal. But a lot of teams don't want to play like that for some reason. But that's the way you get the best out of Arsenal. That's why you had a lot of draws. The reason why you've had a lot of draws as well. No attack, good defense. Not as good as Arsenal fans have been saying, but it's still a good defense regardless. That's why you've been drawing. And the attacking quality in the league is fucking shit anyway. So a lot of teams ain't going to finish their chances against you. Like, we had one goal. I thought when Bowen missed that first chance where he sent it wayward, that was our chance. I thought that was our chance. I thought we're fucked. I didn't think we were going to do that again. But as we saw that set the precedent for the game. Wan-Bissaka creeped into the game. Him and Souček were doing 1-2s. Wan-Bissaka and Souček were doing 1-2s. These are 2 players that get called not technical players and stuff, including myself. I've criticised Souček a lot. They were playing 1-2s through Arsenal. Calafiori was